Hey everybody, Carl here with Pave Chaser, and today we are out in a nice sunset evening in Moncton, New Brunswick. And you probably noticed on the channel that I've been doing a lot of content recently on the KTM Duke. I got a 2021 KTM Duke 890 with me here, and a question that I've been getting, and I know a lot of people are wondering, is can you actually tour on this motorcycle? Now, to answer that question, I guess you need to consider what is a touring motorcycle. Because you can really tour on any motorcycle, to be honest with you, but normally touring motorcycles are going to have a little bit more fairings, a little bit more wind protection from the elements like the rain and wind and so on and so forth. Also, you're going to have a little bit bigger of a tank so you can get further distances. Seating positions are going to be a little bit more comfortable, padding the seat, stuff like that. So the short answer, I can save you a lot of time, is yes, you can tour on the 890 Duke. I have done so. Just a little bit of a background on my experience with this Duke. I've owned it now for almost a year. I have 10,000 kilometers on it. Last fall, I did about a 5,000 kilometer single trip in about a week. I went from New Brunswick, Moncton, all the way to Toronto, up to Sault Ste. Marie, all the way to Timmins, over some 200 kilometers, give or take, of dirt roads, and then all the way back here again. And so I've got some pretty decent experience with this in a touring setup. You can tell from the look of the bike that it is not 100% stock right now. I have added some goodies to it, and I'll explain to you what those were. The KTM Duke 890 is actually considered a naked sport bike. This is because it does not have a lot of the fairings that a lot of the sport bikes have. Your seating position is going to be a little bit higher with the handlebars here. Your footing position is going to be a little bit more straight rather than back here, so it is going to be a little more comfortable, actually quite a bit more comfortable than riding a super sport bike. Most people are looking at the Duke 890R or 890 or 790 as a bike that they can zip around town, take some corners, hit some canyons, and the reason for that is this bike is very, very agile. In fact, its nickname is the Super Scalpel. And when I bought it, I had intentions to make it more of a Swiss Army knife than a scalpel. And so I'm going to be doing some major changes to it. Nothing structural, but just add-ons and different components to make it more friendly for a wider variety of usages. The tank is a 14-liter tank. I can tell you from experience that if you're driving fully loaded, and I'm talking windscreen, tank bags, side cases, luggage, the whole 9 yards, I was able to get 330 kilometers on one tank before I gassed up. Now, I did put 13.25 liters in, meaning that I was pretty much bone dry. So if you're going to go on a trip that there's going to be more than 300 kilometers between gas stations, you're going to want to bring an extra gas tank. But again, most motorcycles, typically that 300 mark is going to be the high point anyways. I have added the windscreen in here. This is the Puig windscreen. I did a video installation on that. You can check that out. This is going to be integral if you're going to want to use this Duke for any long haul touring. I'm not talking about an hour or two per day. I'm talking 5, 6, 8, 10 hours a day. You're going to want to have some wind protection to stop that wind from hitting your chest. Also, it makes a great screen for things like your cell phone, if you use that as a GPS like I do. So this is going to stop all the wind from hitting your cell phone. It's going to stop it from flying away if you don't have it tied down correctly. And yes, that has happened to me before. But it's also going to keep the rain, if it's wet or just mildly raining, it's going to keep the water off that. A couple other goodies that I've added to this bike to make it more touring friendly is I've added, and you're probably going to laugh, don't, it's a cup holder. And I know a lot of people see this and they get a little bit of a chuckle. This is actually a cup holder connected to a RAM mount. These RAM mounts are awesome because they're the same mount that I connect my cell phone on. You can hook up a GoPro camera to them, do a couple different things with them. But I actually use the cup holder for long trips because I can put a can of pop in there, Coke or whatever. I wouldn't advise trying to drink while you're driving on there. It's a bit challenging unless you have an open face mask. But this cup holder actually also doubles as a nice little container to store things in. I've got a solar light that I pop in here, and while I'm driving, the solar is charging it. So at night while I'm camping, I've got a light. So there's a lot of different things you can do with this. It's a nifty little inexpensive add-on. Number two, I have added obviously this tank bag. Now I've done an extensive review of this tank bag. You can check the link up above. This is an SW Motec tank bag. I love it. I use this to put all my camera gear in, snacks, glasses, wallet, keys, things like that. As far as tank bags go, this is on the small side. If you're going to do any long touring and you want to carry more stuff in here, you can get them, and they come, you know, they just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can put a lot of stuff on here. It's a great area to store luggage and things like that. Now, another thing I've added to this bike in particular, and I think that after you get one, you'll never ever want to go back, and that is heated grips. As we mentioned, touring bikes typically have more fairings, more wind protection. These ones don't. Now, I do plan on adding some hand protectors here, which will block some wind, some rocks, things like that. But I'll tell you, having those heated grips on this bike makes driving so much better, especially if you get into climates where it starts to get a little cooler. The nice thing about the KTM Power Part grips, which again, I have done a whole video review on the installation of those. Check that out there if you want. It is integrated all into the computer in here. So all you need to do is in your dash, click on the set button, go to motorcycle, heated grips is the first option, and you've got high, medium, and low. And I can tell you that if you have those set to high, your hands are not going to be cold. It heats up in a hurry. Very, very nice feature. Again, making this a touring friendly bike. Another factor is you've got this nice seat, and the stock seat on these bikes actually are not too bad. However, I am going to be adding a gel insert for those super long days. You got lots of room to do that. It is a very wide seat. You do have the passenger pillion up here. They are separate, so you can do a little bit of modification to one without touching the other. Once you're sitting on the bike, now I'm 6'2", and you can see that I'm easily flat-footing this bike with a slight bend to my knees. So although it is a higher bike than some of your cruisers, it's not going to be so high like some of the adventure bikes out there that you're going to be on your tiptoes all the time. So it is a very comfortable sitting bike. When you put your feet on the pegs, you've got a nice comfortable position here, and the way the tank comes out, it flares out, it actually does give your knees some protection. So you don't actually need a large fairing out there to give your legs some protection. You can see back here, I do have some brackets. This is for your side cases. Now I do have the KTM Power Parts hard shell side cases. As per normal, check out the link above if you want to see more about those. I did a full review, but those clip on, clip off real easy. So if you are touring, you're going in for the night, a quick snap, and you can take those out like two pieces of luggage. So it makes it very, very touring friendly. The KTM Duke also has, like many motorcycles, an adjustable handlebar. So you got 4 different positions to adjust this. So depending on if you like to lean forward a little bit more or want to bring that up a little higher, you can do that to your comfort level. So all in all, I feel that the Duke 890 is actually a very, very good touring bike, because with a couple quick snaps, you can basically take your tank bag off, pull your side cases off, throw them at your hotel or wherever you're staying, and you're back to a naked motorcycle where you could just go out and have some fun, play around until you're ready to hit the road touring the next day. So how confident am I that this KTM Duke 890 could be the ultimate touring bike? I'm crazy confident. In fact, I'm going to do something super crazy, and I'm not going to do it alone. This is Jesse, Wrench to Ride. He's going to be joining us. We're going to be doing a crazy trip from East Coast Canada, West Coast Canada, all the way up to North Coast, the Arctic Circle, 2020 Yamaha MT-09, another naked sport bike. This Duke, we're going to film everything, every crazy adventure. Hopefully no slips and falls, but you never know, of course. Bears, possible, probably a lot of mosquitoes. And anyways, we hope that you guys join us. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for joining today, guys. Hope to catch you in the next one.